I'm still a little bit salty about us throwing away a 2-0 lead to Tottenham Hotspur, the bottlers themselves. I'm on Manchester United. And, that second half was pretty abysmal. The first half was pretty amazing, and I have a lot of positive things to say about the first half, but the second half was pretty abysmal. Is my camera wonky, or is that just me? But what I will say is it shows that we need squad depth. It shows that we need investment, and it shows even more that we need these ratty Glazers out and Qatar in. And guess what? Qatar's bid is coming tonight. Qatar's bid is going to be big, and we've got a lot of news on that today, which we're going to get into. He's still expected to be the favourite. Really good, reliable sources coming out with the Qatar bid, what to expect. The preferred bid is going to be picked next week and more. So we're going to get straight into the takeover news, and then we're going to discuss 5 things we learned from Manchester United to Tottenham Hotspur 2. After that, my video later will talk about some big news that United have started moves to Harry Kane. We'll talk about what Rojo said on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Maguire, and apparently he's saying that Maguire could only play because of his wages. We'll talk about other news on the takeover, Serge and Ratcliffe, and any news that comes out today later on. So do make sure you're subscribed, smash that like button, and let's get into the video. So, starting off with the takeover news. First of all, it was said by the very, very reliable Simon Stone. The Manchester United ownership saga will take a significant step forward today. It is expected to be the final bid deadline, which is 10 p.m. tonight. Sheikh Jassim and Serge Ratcliffe remain the only known realistic bidders for the club set to meet the deadline. So we're saying the deadline is tonight. We hear a lot about these minority stakes, Elliott Group, Carlisle Group, all of that. But it is Serge and Sheikh Jassim. They're the only realistic people ready to hit the deadline tonight. It is between those two. And basically, out of those two, one has 50% control, which isn't actually enough control to do lots of things and keeps the Glazers here. And one has 100% control, does not keep the Glazers here. I think I know which one I want. It was also said on the one that doesn't want to keep the Glazers here, Qatar, by TalkSport, that Qatari Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani remains committed to the full purchase of Manchester United. And The Guardian followed this up by saying the protracted Manchester United takeover saga should take a step closer to resolution in the next 24 hours. So the Qatar bid has to come in by 10 p.m. tonight. I'm sure I'll be live around 10 p.m. tonight, or there'll be a live stream at 6 p.m. tonight, and then if there's more updates, there'll be like a video around 10 p.m. tonight to talk about this. But it's saying the takeover will now step forward. The bids are coming in. It's between Qatar, it's between Sir Jim. We do not want that ratties staying. We do not want Sir Jim the rat keeping them here. I tell you that now. And I feel, looking at Manchester United, I just want the Glazers gone. That is the most important thing, is that the Glazers do not touch this club. The debt goes, the dividend payments go. That's all I want, and hopefully that will happen. But what is being said is the bids go in today, and that is the third and final round of bidding. There's no fourth round of bidding. There's no delaying the deal even more. These bids go in. They pick a preferred bidder. We get on with stuff. Bish, bash, bosh. Now, I don't know how much Qatar are going to bid, because some sources say 5 billion, some sources saying 6 billion. I don't know, but we will talk into what Qatar's plans are in just a second. It was continued up by saying as well, the expectation is that the Glazer family, with the help of the Rain Group, the banking firm exchanged with the brokering the sale, will then choose a preferred bidder next week. So they're saying these bids go in and a preferred bidder is chosen next week. So we could be sitting here in a week crying that the Glazers are staying, or hurraying that they're finally going, because the preferred bidders can be chosen next week. And obviously then after they choose the preferred bidders, it will take a couple of weeks to finalise it, and something could go wrong. Of course, you're negotiating with the Glazers, but things are moving. This is the final bid tonight. This is Qatar's final bid. This is going to be big. This is Sir Jim's final bid. This is going to be horrific, because they're going to offer the Glazers a chance to stay. This is the final offers. And then it goes and we get a preferred bid, and it comes to an end, and hopefully a positive end. It was also said if the Glazer family give the green light to Sheikh Jassim's offer for 100% control of Manchester United, multiple Whitehall sources insist the only remaining hurdle will be the Premier League strengthened directors and owners test, which they shouldn't fail, because they've got Abu Dhabi in and they've let Saudi Arabia in, and Saudi Arabia for Newcastle is a lot more questionable than Qatar for Manchester United as well. So basically they're saying if the Glazers have set Qatar, there shouldn't be any hurdles. They've just got to get past this Premier League thing. Look, Qatar are coming in and they're investing money into Manchester, the greater community, improving all the facilities. So Jim comes in and they take more money out of Manchester United. The stadium rots, more debt on the club. Realistically, yes, there's question marks around the human rights of Qatar, but realistically, what's best for Manchester, what's best for the club, what's best for the investment, Qatar. It was also said as well, insiders maintain that Sheikh Jassim remains the most likely bid to be successful should a full takeover take place. A lot of insiders around the Man United takeover are saying that Sheikh Jassim's bid is most likely to be successful if they want the full takeover, if that is going to take place, and reportedly it's between Sir Jim and Sheikh Jassim, that Sheikh Jassim's bid will most likely be successful. He is, the favourite. He is still the front line, despite this Sir Jim Ratcliffe report coming out and this and that. Qatar, Sheikh Jassim, still the favourite, and it was said Qatar's final bid is now imminent for full control over the club. So Qatar's bid is imminent. Qatar's bid is still most likely to be successful. Qatar's bid is the favourite. Qatar very strong and confident despite reports of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's new proposal to keep the Glazers here. And what I'm hoping, because it makes no sense for the Glazers to stay for economic reasons, what I'm hoping is that everything that's come out in the last few games is just games and negotiation tactic to make sure that this Qatar bid that comes in is massive. Because every little bit of information that comes out regarding the Glazers staying comes out just before the Qatar bid's going to go in for each round. So I'm hoping it's a negotiation game, but we'll have to wait and see. But big fat Qatar bid incoming. Preferred bid is going to be picked. Qatar 100% control, 100% of United are putting that bid in. But also, as well, it said that insiders are saying the Qatar bid is most likely to be successful, which is massive news. So that is your update on the Qatar takeover of Manchester United. I now want to talk about 5 things we learned from Manchester United 2, Tottenham 2. I think 5 things is actually really easy to do when you have a good first half and a poor second half, because I can be so critical about areas of what went well, what didn't go well, and I can really look at the game and go, this was good and this was not good. And I'm going to start with the first thing we learned is Casemiro has dropped off massively, and it is costing us. We have less control in games now. If we were very reliant on Casemiro, and he has to play every week because we don't have a good backup, McTominay. But when he drops off, we lose control. We lose a bit of games, and we're very reliant on Casemiro. And I think that Casemiro's a confidence issue. I thought it was alright in the first half, but the second half it was poor. He got 2 red cards in the space of 2 games for things that other players do and don't even see a card for. So his confidence is just knocking on the floor. And you can see the way he's kind of reluctant to go in for challenges. He's been knocked back by it because of the stupid Premier League referees. And he's not come back the same since that red card. 100% not come back the same. And that is slightly worrying. No, I think it's just a blip. I think Casemiro's a top player and I think he will be fine. But I think that highlights, we lose control if he's not on form, because we need him playing well to control games. We need him in form to control games. When he's not playing well, we lose control. We lost control of that game. This says to me, we need to make sure we get a backup DM in, because we cannot, Casemiro's a great player, but we've got no backup for him. We need to get Casado in that can play next to Casemiro, back up to Casemiro, or we need to go and get a good understudy from, one of the leagues outside of Europe, or one of the leagues outside the top 5 leagues. We need to get someone in, even if it's Edson Alvarez of Ajax, someone in that we know could do that Casemiro role if Casemiro is not available, because I think it's so important, that role, and if Casemiro's not on it, who else can we play? The second thing we learned, which is a positive, as I thought, especially in the first half, the Sancho, Rashford, Bruno link-up worked really well. Bruno 10, Sancho on the left, Rashford striker. Those 3 players interlinked really well. They played really well. I thought Rashford was fantastic. His movement play, his hold-up play as a centre-forward was fantastic. I thought Bruno was fantastic. Unlucky not to score, got the assist. I thought Sancho was particularly excellent. He took that shot, he trapped back, he took the confidence on. Those 3, and whenever they've played together, they've always linked up quite well, that Rashford, Sancho, Bruno kind of thing. They always link up and work together quite well. And I think that's something that I'd like to see in future. Those 3 continuing play together, because I do think they link up well, and I think Sancho and Rashford were really good today. I thought Bruno was really good. Yesterday in the first half. We obviously dropped off in the second half. We took Sancho off. We moved Bruno out wide. Rashford. Then we put Martial on, and Rashford went out wide. And I think when we made all those subs and that triangle kind of went, I think we got worse. And I think those 3 together worked really well. The third thing we learned, and this is a very obvious one, but the subs were wrong. The subs were absolutely wrong. Ten Hag got the subs wrong. I don't criticise Ten Hag a lot, but this was on him today. We were 2-0 up. We were controlling the game. You did these defensive subs which invited on pressure. We had control of the game. The subs you made meant that we no longer had control of the game and were defending, which invited on pressure, which invited on the goals, and we got obliterated by Spurs in that second half. The substitutions were completely wrong. I got why he brought Fred on. I did. And I got why he brought Martial on, but it made us worse, because I think when he brought them on, we then sat back and defended and invited pressure, which doesn't work. We need to control the game, we need to hold the ball, and because the subs were so defensive, we lost control of the game. Which brings us to my 4th point. The Wout Weghorst sub was shambles. Do you know why it was shambles? Because why are we moving Bruno out wide? Manchester United need to stop moving Bruno out wide. When Wout Weghorst went to number 10 and Bruno went to the right, we lost complete control of that midfield. When Bruno is in the midfield, we have control. When Bruno's in the midfield, he gets involved heavily. Bruno can do a job out wide, but when you push Bruno out wide, he's not as good. And I think we can all say that, you know, Bruno has such a heavy influence on the side, and when he's in the middle, he can have more of that. You know, Anthony out wide is good because Anthony holds the width. Bruno doesn't hold the width. Bruno goes narrow because he's not a natural winger. Spurs were playing narrow. We weren't utilising the space on the width to get past Spurs. But also, we're not making the most of Bruno because Wout Weghorst is like a ghost at number 10. Bruno is getting involved in doing things. Stop this Wout Weghorst at 10. Stop this Bruno on the right. Not for me. Fifth and final thing we learned is our away from home form against the top 9 is absolutely shambolic. Not won a single game away from home against the top 9. We've had a few draws. You know, this could have been a win today, and this was Spurs. You know, it absolutely shambolic form away from home against the top 9. We're letting the stadiums get to us. It's because we're sitting back and biting on pressure with the crowds getting behind. It is a big problem. We need to improve our away form. It is a big problem. That's what I'm going to say. Now, that is my 5 things we learned, plus Qatar Manchester United takeover update. Guys, I will be live around 6-7 p.m. tonight. There's a lot of news to get into, so smash that like button, subscribe down below, and share the video. I want to thank everyone for watching today's video. I will see you next time.